Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. Hope you guys are doing amazing out there. Today, I want to talk a little bit about sales copy. Sales copy is important, obviously. This is what people see when they get to your sales page, what makes them decide whether or not to buy your thing or not. So a lot of people feel this sales copy can be formulaic. There's a science to it. I tend to believe the sales copy is more of an art than a science, which intimidates people because they don't like the idea of creativity. It makes them feel like they can't do it. But if you just gave them a paint by numbers system, a step by step, then they could do it, right? But to infer that they need some kind of talent or they need some kind of natural born ability, it intimidates them because they feel like that's not something they can do. My friend, I'll tell you something. It's my belief that sales copy is more of an art than a science. And I've done hundreds of sales pages. Some of them have done really well. Some of them have flopped worse than ever, And it was up to me, to pick my pride up off the floor and to fix them, And I can tell you, when I have fixed those sales pages that were flopping during a product launch, the main thing that makes a difference is generally the headline. But I'm not trying to give you some kind of lame guru tactic here. I want to explain to you why it's the headline. The headline represents the captivation portion of the sales page. The headline represents what people see and what their first impression is of your thing when they first hit your sales page, that first 10 seconds that they're there. So I believe the headline is all about how you're conveying your offer, how you're conveying it, not in a way that describes it accurately, but in a way that is captivating and describes it accurately. That's why I think the headline matters so much. But beyond the headline, because sales page copy goes beyond the headline. The thing about sales page copy and me saying it's an art more than a science, it's like if you consider creativity a natural born gift, then I understand why me saying that would be intimidating and you don't want to believe it. But if you understand the truth, which is that you all have creativity inside you, but not everybody has tapped into it. It's like a muscle that you exercise. So everybody has natural creativity in them. It just needs to be exercised. You can do that through various exercises, if you will. But the point is, it can be developed. Creativity is a skill. That's the point. It's not something that should intimidate you. It can be developed. So why do I think that sales copy is more of a art than a science? Why do I think that? There's all kinds of templates for sales pages. There's all kinds of, outlines for how to write a sales page. Of course. But the thing about it is, the reason why I feel that way, it's fundamentally very easy, and I'll tell you why. Give me a second. I just finished up my walk and I'm trying to Get my keys out. We'll go in the garage here real quick and tell you. So, the reason why is sorry, I'm out of shape, guys. I'm just trying to get a walk in every day, get my health up, The reason why is because people make buying decisions based on emotion, right? They don't make buying decisions based off of logic. They make it based off of emotion. So that's part of the reason why trusted affiliate traffic is so powerful, because the people hitting your sales page are referred customers, right? They already know, like, and trust that person, and now that person has recommended them to you, right? That's why you get higher conversion rates with affiliate traffic. But yes, I believe 100%, and I feel like I've proven it over and over and over again in my own business, that people buy based on emotion, right? Then they justify those purchases based on logic. So, by that very statement, like, if you believe it, which I do, then you will understand that there is no magic formula that's going to make a great and successful sales page for you. It doesn't matter how great the formula is or whatever. There's no great and magic formula to create a high converting sales page for you. The magic is in your ability to cultivate an emotion with the people hitting your sales page. Can you hit an emotion? Can you cultivate it? Can you pull it up to the surface? Can you grab them in some way that gets them thinking about something, that gets them excited, that gets them angry about something? Can you pull an emotion? Can you invoke an emotion in your potential customers? Because it doesn't matter what your sales page looks like, okay? If you can invoke that emotion and then you can justify it with logic, now you can get people to buy, all right? I mean, I've had sales pages that have done really well with nothing on them but a video and a little buy button, right? And I've had sales pages that have been very elaborate and, seemingly professionally done. And then I've had sales pages that have been very ugly, just really, really ugly, not even with a headline at all, with no headline. Now, I just told you a little bit earlier that I feel like the headline is one of the most important parts of your sales page when it comes to fixing a flopping sales page. So then you might think, well, how can you convert really well on a sales page with no headline at all? Because the sales page didn't need a headline. Because, again, it's not about the headline. The headline is just something you can adjust if things are not going well. But what does it do when you adjust it? It's another attempt to grab people's emotion because you didn't do it the first time. You didn't do it the first time, Somehow you repelled them. There's a fine line between captivation and confusion, all right? Now, if you confuse them, you're going to repel them. If you captivate them, you're going to pull them in, right? And there's a fine line. So, sometimes if you're flopping, you can adjust the sales page. That's a really good way to take a second shot and see if you can just very quickly, broadly, increase those conversion rates by trying to tap into some emotion with a better headline. However, again, like I said, I've converted sales pages great with no headlines because the reason why is it's about the emotion that you can tap into. Can you invoke emotion in your potential customers? That's what it's really about. It's about invoking that emotion, getting them angry, getting them excited, getting them sad, getting them frustrated, making them realize something they forgot about something in their own business, and they're absolutely upset about it now, making them afraid, right? These emotions, by tapping into these emotions, that's going to inspire buying decisions. And then, you can use other parts of your sales page to justify it with logic. But it really is 100% about tapping into the emotion and invoking those emotions in your potential clients. It doesn't matter what your sales page looks like, If for some whatever reason, the color yellow taps into people's emotion and it lowers their buying defenses or whatever it is, Sometimes that might be the case, but there's so many variables to it that you really just can't bank on one thing. It's not like you can say, like a guru tells you, hey, yellow is proven to lower people's, defenses when it comes to buying things. So now all your sales pages have to have a background of yellow, right? It doesn't work that way. People are not that simple. Do you feel that simple? Of course not. You're not that simple. People are complex. Hell, half these people don't even understand themselves. Let alone like what they want to buy or what they don't want to buy. People don't know what the hell they want to do. So it's just not that simple. The simplest thing is that sales are created with emotion, and they're justified with logic. But to say that there's some kind of a template, or to say that there's some kind of outline that you can use that's going to guarantee your success every sale is like ridiculous. It would be foolish to think so. So that's what I'd say about that. Again, I think it's born of creativity. I think when it comes to sales copy, it's about creativity, and I think you need to kind of tap into your creative side. Now, that's not to say that you can ignore all the things that have gone before you. People have been selling things for hundreds of years to people. So obviously they have things to say about it, and these are things that work. One of my favorite books right now that I've just read recently was called The Ultimate Sales Letter by Dan Kennedy. That book is so amazing. It's so good. But again, it's just, it goes back to this idea that, obviously to me, it's all steeped in creativity. It's an art form. Sales pages and sales letters are art forms. Doesn't mean you shouldn't learn from the things that have gone before you and the people that have had success before you, but it does mean to think that there's some kind of rule book for this thing. It would be foolish to think that. It's all steeped in creativity. It's like, how do you think all those rules got created? They got created. All those benchmarks, even the stuff that Kennedy talks about in the Ultimate Sales Letter, how did all that stuff come to be? It came to be because they tried it and it worked really, really well. Then they did some research on it and figured out why that's working really, really well. Because someone asked a question, why did that work really well? Then they started looking at it and thinking about it. So, of course, I'm not telling you to reinvent the wheel, but I am telling you, don't think that you can just copy a paint-by-number system and not even understand the creativity behind it and why it might work. And think you're going to have success all the time, because you're not. Even things that were successful 5 years ago, they stopped working. It's like, why? Because they get played out, because everyone's using them and they don't have the same effect on people. When they first started using them, it invoked an emotion in people. But after 5 years of seeing the same sales page over and over and over again from all these different people, now it's not invoking the same emotion. Think about it, guys. Do you guys remember when Russell Brunson first put out the Perfect Webinar? And when he was doing that, it was like, this is so awesome. Now you can see it. You can see it all over the place. When you watch a webinar, you're like, oh, I know what this is. Perfect Webinar. And you can see him following the template. You can see him following the template of Perfect Webinar. And what does it do? That pulls you right out of it. If you know exactly what they're doing, somehow it just pulls you out of it. It's not invoking emotion anymore, because you recognize the template. Right? You recognize that it's a thing. So what happens? Something that used to invoke emotion in customers now doesn't invoke emotion in customers anymore, because they're not viewing it the same way. That's a prime example of how something that was a template, something that worked in the past, stopped working because so many people were using it. But why did it stop working? It didn't change. It's still the same exact thing. It stopped working because people are viewing it differently, right? And why are they viewing it differently? They're viewing it differently because they've seen it a bunch of times, and the way they're viewing it is affecting their emotion. It's affecting their emotion as it relates to that thing, right? So anyways, I hope this is helpful to you. So anyways, look, man, I hope you guys are doing awesome out there. I'm going to end this one, and I'll see you in another one later. Peace now. Hey, be sure to get over to my website, epicconversions.com. Sign up for one of my free products. Join my mailing list. I send out emails every, 4 to 6 times a week. I'll send out an email to my list. I at least send out an email a few times a week. And I always try to make my emails cool. I feel like I put my best content in my emails. So anyways, hope you're doing amazing out there, and I'll see you in the inbox. Peace now.